Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Amanda here from Eclectic Scribbles, and today I am bringing you a much anticipated video about trackers, how I track, why I track, and what I track. All those good things will be included in this video because I've had several questions about that when I am doing the vlog. So we're going to look at all kinds of different trackers in a little bit more detail throughout this video. But if it is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below along with the little notification bell so you are informed each and every time I upload new content. I've got my last two journals here to show you the different trackers that I have gone through over the course of the last year. So jumping right in. Let's start with why I track. So for things like mood and habits and things like that, I like to see the patterns. It gives me sort of an indication of what I did each month, how I did each month. So that is the why I track. And I like to see how my moods vary from month to month. So with the mood trackers especially, that is why I add those into each and every one of my monthly spreads. Now, how I track them always changes. I go back and forth between several different things. For instance, this is March of 2017, so March last year, and I did a mood mandala for that tracker. Whereas in, looks like September of last year, I did sort of this combo mood and moon phase tracker, and as you can see, it never even got filled out completely. So September was sort of an off month for me last year. And then April, which is now, and currently what I'm doing is a mood chick theme based off of the fact that I'm doing baby animals as a theme for this month, and because I loved my mood fish from last month. So the trackers that I use are sort of a ever-evolving kind of thing. But for instance, this is my April last year. So I track gratitude every month, or most months anyway. There are a couple where I have left it out, but I do track my gratitude. I like writing something that I am grateful for down each and every day. So this is a great way to sort of keep memories and just write something nice every day, even when I'm having a bad day. So that is why I track gratitude. Here's my April moon mandala. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger than the March one. I really love these. I love how they turn out and how you get to decorate them throughout the month. So that's really fun for me. This was a time log that failed. This is a basic sort of habit tracker and self-care tracker. So this top portion is all the habits that I was keeping up with back in April, and this is the self-care tracker, which is basically these 4 areas of my life: mood, energy, activity, and productivity. I rate on a scale from 1 to 10, and then I track them throughout the month to see any different patterns and how each of the 4 things relate to each other. So I have been doing that for quite some time, and I really like seeing those patterns. Alright, so this was me moving my 2017 year-end pixels and temperature log over into this journal. I had been in a disc-bound system before March of this year, and so I had to move several collections over sort of mid-journal. But this is what the year-end pixels sort of looks like, and then I use that same format to do a temperature log. For the temperature log, I use that just to track the weather changing throughout the year, but also because I crochet and I like to do temperature blankets where each row represents a day of the year, and when you get done with the year, you've got this fun sort of random pattern based on the temperature where you are, and you end up with a blanket at the end of the year. So that was the initial reason for using the temperature log, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. So this year-end pixels sort of layout was perfect for that. Let's see if we can find May and how it changed. So for May, the gratitude log is pretty much always the same for me. This is a failed mood mandala. I did track all the way through the month as far as my moods were concerned. I just never went back in and decorated it. I've got a sleep log over here, which is just the sleep only and not how I spent my time, because that time log did not work for me again. Sort of more detailed habit tracker here, and a larger self-care tracker over here. So you can see how they sort of evolve. This was another time tracker. Let's see if we can get on through here to June. Gratitude. This was the first sort of iteration that was not sort of a mandala theme for my mood tracker. And because we have June bugs here in the month of June, obviously I thought these June mood bugs would be really, really cute, and I had a lot of fun filling these out. So these are my little mood bugs, and based on their different colors, I sort of give each of them little different facial expressions as well. So it was really fun to fill out. This is my habit trackers again. This is where I started adding habits and intentions and breaking the two up. Now, habits are things that I pretty much know I do daily, and if I don't do them daily, like blog posts or YouTube videos or something like that back at this time, I knew that they happened regularly. And so these are things that I know are pretty much going to be filled up by the time the month is over. Yeah, I'm going to miss a day on certain things here or there, but for the most part, the things that I consider habits should be pretty full by the end of the month. Now, how that differs from intentions is intentions are things I want to do more of. So I was working on things like creating new art projects and getting back to pen pals, coloring, painting, being up by a certain time, in bed by a certain time, working on my no spend, having sales, tossing something because I was trying to work on decluttering, having a me day, or doing some kind of random act of kindness. That is something that is just an intention at this point until it forms into a habit and I can close pretty much or color in pretty much all of the rings in any given one of these. It's still considered an intention as far as I'm concerned, but this is where I started tracking those. And this is where I sort of switch things up and move things over into a circle tracker for the self-care as well. And this tracker over here is basically just how I took care of myself on each of those days. Just a couple of little words. This was a sleep and work tracker that actually worked out. I got all the way through the month, and I did this with another time tracker. Now if we can get through June and on to July, you'll see the iterations again. So there is gratitude for July. This is where we move over from the mood mandalas and the mood bugs to this mood and moon phase tracker, habit tracker, intention tracker, and self-care. Again, those didn't really change. The format of this went to one line instead of two columns. Sleep and work, time together. So that is basically how I tracked in the first half of last year, and you're not going to see a whole lot of change until we get into this year. Like, this is a gratitude log that didn't really work out. August, I did fill out all but the last day here apparently of my mood and moon tracker there. Habit tracker, I went with filling it in instead of the little hash marks. Intentions, self-care, I added a memory page in here, so I only included special dates as far as those were concerned. We've got sleep and work, quality time, and a lot got left undone in August for me. Alright, so September, another rough month for me as far as keeping track of things. But gratitude, there was the mood and moon tracker. You can see I completely fell off my habit tracker, the intention tracker. It is all unfinished for the month of September. I filled out 2 days for this one and 1 day for this one. So yeah, definitely failed miserably with those, but it's okay because we just turn the page and keep going. All right, so October here. October, we picked things back up, got back on track. I added Jack Skellington in because I had this whole Halloween theme going, but he's holding on to the mood and moon tracker thing here. This is where I started to switch things up and went horizontal instead of vertical with my habits and intentions and put them sort of together on a spread. I broke them up, and this sort of stuck with me for the next several months as well. At this time, the self-care tracker was still in the circle, and I did the 1 line a day to keep up with some journaling. But that is going to change up with the coming months. I've got time bars here because I wasn't doing them in my daily things here. So that goes back and forth. Sometimes I track them in my week. This is sort of another little habit tracker. This has to do with how my health was that day, sleep, hydration, whether or not I did a no spin, how many steps I took, and how well I ate for the day. And these little trackers here, these mini ones, are sort of ranked on a color code. And green was really good, yellow not so great, an orange box was really not good at all, and a red was just horrible. So you had the 4 colors that could be used there. So those kept up for a little while. November was a crazy busy month for me. And so again, not a whole heck of a lot filled out here. In fact, I think I switched back and forth. I did in November. I went into just Traveler's Notebooks inserts for the month of November. So actually most of my habit tracking is there. I ended up sort of setting up the month twice, and I didn't bring that over here. So the ones that you'll see incomplete are completed in the Traveler's Notebook that I used for the month of November. I sort of migrated through about halfway through, and you can go back into my Instagram anytime and see those complete. This was throwing all of the time trackers into one spread and all the little self-care trackers down here into one spread. I don't remember if I finished it or not in the Traveler's Notebook, but I know that it's in there. This was a special challenge. This was NaNoWriMo. I got a lot further than this. I just, like, it's not in this journal. So let's see, what else do we have? We have December in here, which definitely is back on track. And here is a full gratitude page for it. I did presents for December, and I decorated each one of the little presents according to my mood. This is where I threw all 3 trackers into one spread. So all the habits are up here, self-care here, and then intentions here. And as far as what I track on the regular, because this has not changed much in the past several months and probably won't change for a while. My inbox 0 is always on here. Posting to Instagram and my Facebook groups, along with Pinterest, is always on here. Lettering in some form and sketching in some form each and every day is something that I track. I track if I've worked on my blog or not, if I've posted a video, if I've cleaned for at least 15 minutes that day, if we cook at home, and self-care. Now, self-care I think has sort of gone away because it's down here, but now I've had added if I journal in here, which is sort of down here in intentions, because at one time it was just an intention. It wasn't a habit yet. So the intentions that were here were bujo or plan, journal, tags and swaps, which is from my swap group, Swap Junkies, which is always linked below, where we send Happy Mail back and forth throughout the week. So that was if I had done some of that. If I've crafted or created, that's just make some kind of little art project the day. Color paint. So if I've colored in any way or painted in any way. Up by 10, bed by 3. I know I keep a weird schedule, so those numbers are probably a little off to most people. If I've done my no spend, if I had an Etsy sale or a sale elsewhere, like through my blog shop or something like that. If I came out with a new product, exercise, if I've tossed something, or if it is a me day. So those are the ones that I keep track of as far as intentions, and the mood, energy, productivity, and activity have stayed the same throughout for the self-care tracker. All right, and then 1 line a day turned into sort of 2 lines a day for the month of December. I brought back my little flower trackers here for the month of December, which is basically just a time bar in a flower form. I really like these, and I think I'm going to print some more stickers out of those. I think they're going to be coming back to my shop here soon. I might do that today, actually. And for the new year, I wanted to move in. You can see the flower trackers here as well. I wanted to move into a new journal. So this one is about half complete. And what I've been using the back half of this journal for is a little bit of practice. But I moved into my brand new Scribbles That Matter. So in January, we have the gratitude spread. Now, obviously, this year I have been keeping a lot better track of all of my different spreads, and there's not a whole lot incomplete in these because I have started the vlog, and I do the vlog every day, and so that sort of definitely keeps me on top of things, regardless of how I feel. Now, sometimes I miss a day, but I've also been really good this year about going in and filling those things in, coming back and filling them in if I miss a day. So, and this is my gratitude spread. My mood tracker for January centered around flowers because I was doing a floral theme for the month of January. So I did these little wreaths of flowers and colored one in each day for my mood there. This is the same habit tracker that I had been using the month prior, and all of the different the habits, intentions, and self-care for it. So that didn't really change for the month of January. Here is our February spreads. And so February had sort of a fairy tale theme. This is my gratitude spread for it. This is the mood tracker and how it shaped up for the month of February. So it was based off of Cinderella. I would have to say that the mood tracker is the one that is going to change the most often as far as the way I track. This was the habits, intentions, and self-care, and another failed sleep log. So I throw these in here from time to time, and the reason that I do is because I like to see the different patterns and go back and look, okay, I was super productive on, you know, whatever day, so could that have possibly had anything to do with the fact that I had gotten a good night's sleep or had gotten rest, and I just didn't keep up with it. But I am doing that again for the month of April, and so far I am keeping up with it. So we'll see how that turns out. But March I really loved. Gratitude spread for March. Here is the March mood fish, my favorite tracker of all time so far. So each and every day I colored a little Dr. Seuss inspired mood fish for my mood tracker, and I just loved it, and it was very popular. So a lot of people really enjoyed this spread, and I really enjoyed filling it out too. The only change here with the habit tracker and intention tracker is I'm moved down to using little icons instead of writing out what I'm tracking, and then I changed up the little pattern inside of the trackers themselves. I did add a couple of things to the self-care tracker for the month, and I sort of had an idea in my head that didn't really work out at the first part of the month, so we just fixed it and moved on from there. But yeah, so inbox 0 moved to a little envelope icon. There's a little Instagram thing, Facebook, Pinterest. The L is for lettering. The little pencil here is for sketching. The feather sort of doodle is for the new blog, because that is sort of part of my new logo. The YouTube, a little broom for cleaning, a little pot for cooking at home. The little heart here is for self-care. The Bujo plan is a little book, and then a journal. Journaling is just a couple of little scribbles. So those moved up from intentions to habits when they started getting filled up, you know, on a regular basis here in the intention tracker. And then those were the tags and swaps: craft, create, paint, up by, bed by, Etsy sale, other sale, new products coming out, workout or exercise, no spend, toss something, and a me day down here. So as long as you know what your little icons represent, you can add little icons in here. You can write the words out, you know, whatever works for the amount of space that you have. But I had this whole design thing going on, so I wanted to add in the little balloons rather than just have the words written out. And this is where I added hydration and sleep into my self-care tracker. And while it didn't really work out and got a little cramped, it did sort of serve the purpose. But this is mood, productivity, energy, activity, sleep, and hydration for this tracker here. All right, and then that pretty much brings us back to the current month, outside of the fact that I had been using, I did make stickers of my time bars. They're the 12-hour format across the top, and then these little 8-hour 3-row format. I like these so that they don't run all the way across the top, and so I've been tracking my time that way for the month of March. And then we get into this month, and of course these are not finished yet because we are only a little bit of the way into the month so far. Today's the 6th, so I've got everything here from the past 5 days, and I will update this again tonight. But the gratitude spread again hasn't changed. I have started adding sketches and things like that into it, but otherwise it's just me doing a little bit of lettering practice each and every day. And these are the mood checks, like I had explained before, for the month of April. So I'm filling in a little check each and every day based on my mood. And here is where I have finally switched up the habit tracker, intention tracker, and everything else. So the idea behind this is I really like my mandalas, and I was sort of missing them, but I didn't really want to do a mood mandala because I was doing my little mood checks for the month of April. So what I had done is went back to the circle trackers, and I thought, well, you know what, I can add a mandala into it. So rather than do the entire thing in ink, I penciled out the little circles for each one of the habits and intentions that I wanted to track, and then I penciled in a little bitty mandala with no real detail, just the basic mandala for each of those things. And if I have completed, you know, that habit, or if I fill in that habit or that intention for the day, then I can go in with ink and fill it out. So based on how well I do with my habits and intentions for the month of April, you'll see the majority of a mandala, and where I sort of fell off track is where there will be little gaps in the design. So I'm really having a lot of fun filling these out, but that was the idea behind that. I haven't really seen anyone do this type of mandala tracker before, and so I wanted to give it a shot and see what I thought about it, and I really like it so far. And I may even go in and add a little bit more detail to it. But I've used the icons again because there's not a whole lot of room left over for that. So the icons are here, and I did have to narrow them down a little bit because I'm only doing 10. Each of these sort of rings is about 5 millimeters in diameter, sort of to line up with the dots on my page. So I only have room for 10 of each with this kind of tracker, but I'm fine with that. So I'm doing a little bit better with my habits than I am with my intentions this month, but I have taken a few days off, and I am sort of getting back on track, and hopefully by the end of the month this intention tracker will be looking a little bit more festive, but we'll see how it goes. They are just the intentions, so I'm not overly concerned with them not being filled out 100%. But if you like this idea, I do have the habit and intention tracker versions in my shop over on Etsy, and you're more than welcome to go and check those out. For self-care, I did go back to this circle tracker, which gives me a little bit more room than the horizontal sort of line graph thing is concerned, because now I'm tracking mood, productivity, energy, and activity as always. Hydration again for this month, but then I put my pain on here as well because I have several chronic ailments, and so I like keeping a track of that as well. And because I was doing a sleep and work tracker again over here, I didn't need sleep on my self-care tracker. So depending upon what your needs are, it will depend on what kinds of trackers that you like, or that you choose to use. But these are the last 2 trackers for this month, so I hope that sort of gives you an idea of how I track, or why I track different things. It gives you some ideas maybe on how you could track, which ones you may want to give a try. I have all of my trackers are available over in my Etsy shop, as far as like the circular trackers, these laid out so you don't have to write the days out each and every day. That was the entire basis for me making this sticker, was I did not want to write out the 24 hours for each of these 30 days. But I did want to be able to fill it in, so it was a happy medium. I did it on the computer, printed out a sticker, and popped that bad boy right here in my journal. But there is really no limitation. It's whatever you can come up with as far as tracking different things are concerned, and you can do something as simple as, just your basic trackers with little hash marks or little boxes filled in for the day, and you can go very minimal with it. Pretty minimal. You could fill in the boxes. You don't even have to do the hash marks, and you just list out the habits to the side. You can do a basic line graph, or you can get really creative with it and do something like the mandala trackers or the mood mandalas or something like that. So I hope that you find this video helpful. I hope that answers your questions. If there is something that I've shown you here that you still have questions about, feel free to leave me a comment below. I get back to each and every one of you, and I try to answer them to the best of my ability. If you use a tracker based on one of the ones that you've seen here from me today, go ahead and tag me in it. I would love to see your recreations. I would love to see your interpretations of some of these trackers. I love it when y'all tag me in your photos and use my stuff as inspiration for things that you might work on in your journal. But I think that is going to wrap up the tracker video for today, now that I have finally gotten it out. I will see you all again tomorrow with a new video, since I did not do one on Tuesday of this week. I am throwing out back-to-back videos this weekend, and I'm thinking it may be on my wall of pins, or it may be a journal review. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I will be bringing you another new video tomorrow along with the vlog every day. So subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a big thumbs up if you found it at all helpful. If you didn't find it helpful and feel the need to give it a thumbs down, that's fine too. Just let me know in the comments below why, so I can improve the channel for you. Until next time, everyone, happy journaling. Bye.